So, hey guys, just to make up a review video. Uh, this video might be a bit longer because I'm just going to study and review some stuff. But the biggest thing that has been happening right now is I think Bitcoin has been having some crazy drops right now. Let's go to Bitcoin right now. Uh, so I'm sort of expecting, like I said in chat, that SPY would have like a complete downtrend for the entire week, and Bitcoin is sort of giving us those signs also. Uh, we'll we'll look at Bitcoin on the weekly basis. This is looking at Bitcoin in the long, like obviously super long term because I'm looking in the weeks right now. Mainly what I'm looking at right now is looking at Bitcoin's main support. So normally, I don't know if you guys see it. It's this green line. Right when that green line crosses, that's its weekly main support. So hence, we had that big drop, and from that point, it's been like stagnating. After the stagnation, normally when it hits this mark, I'm looking at the daily next. So the daily will have two supports. Then once it breaks that second support, then we'll have that big downtrend. So this is the purple line that we made from the weekly. So now I'm looking for two supports, which is after the purple line's been made. So here is considered as a support. Let me look on the weekly base. Yeah, let me move this purple line a bit better so it's like right on top of it. Uh, so I'm looking at the same thing. I'm looking for this green line crossing this black line and below the dotted line. So it triggered right here, but this doesn't really technically count because it has to be over this purple line for it to initiate. This is sort of considered as like an early put entry, just like a quick in and out. Obviously it's not quick because it had like a huge downturn for like a whole like maybe 2 weeks, but in like the long-term spectrum. But yeah, so here's the beginning of the weekly support. So I need to look for two daily supports. So there's this one because across that dotted line. Next is then all of a sudden it stagnates. So you can sort of see here how the green line crosses dotted line, but it has to be below this black line also. So this one doesn't count. Uh, so hence we have like a little bit of stagnation. And then this one got a little close, but this was the big confirmer right here on Sunday. Today. I think it happened at night. Um, no, I lied. It was last week. It's February today. Yeah, dude, I'm a week off. It's crazy. So it happened on last Sunday, last week is its last main big support. So which was what price? We'll make this blue. Actually, we'll make it yellow. Um, which was 86. Obviously like $34, but I'm not gonna say that. 86 was its main support. So right when because after the purple line main support occurred, it's looking at two supports. And we're pretty much seeing like, hey, will Bitcoin have like a huge uptrend? Because after its two supports, it should have a breakout, right? I think it's trying to follow like a simple trend line right here, pretty much. And see it have this huge uptrend. It doesn't help that it's below the trauma, which is this purple line. Uh, so ideally for anything to happen, it needs to stay above it. So hence you see like it broke above the trauma and it had this nice continuous uptrend. That's why I like the trauma a lot. It gives you like a broad spectrum of what's gonna happen. So this is the second support. It broke below it, and now we have a continuous downtrend. Next is, well, now we have that break. How far is it going to go down? Uh, let's see. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna use the 30-minute because my 30-minute window is always my go-to. Uh, and we have to scroll back a lot. So in the 30-minute window, I'm just looking for uh the basic thing, which is the 20-day moving average, which is that red line, and the 50-day moving average is that blue line. And right when they intersect, that is considered a support. It's not like a perfect support, but it's like one of the closest. Uh, if you so I made right here that happened. We can sort of see a bounce off that same line. So something about the around the 77,000 price point is holding a nice support bounce, but I think everyone's waiting on Monday, see what happens. But overall, long term wise, I do see Bitcoin a huge downtrend in the long term. So be careful of like all the crypto stuff if you guys are invested because it's not looking good. I think people are having more support on actual physical materials, hence why gold and silver is blown up. It's actually physical materials, and I think it's a more secure. That's what people say. And the thing is, I haven't bought any gold or silver. I did have my mom come up to me say like, "Hey, I need to buy more gold and silver." And the funny thing is, right when she says that she wants to buy gold and silver, that's generally when I want to sell it because she's considered as the general public. So I don't listen to my mom. So every time like she wants to buy something, I tell her like just wait on it. But she's pretty good at buying stuff though. Uh, but yeah, that's what we have like a little bit of shakiness in the gold right now too because it's just been trading so much. Um, Also, I think the U.S. dollar is seeing like new, not new all-time lows, but recent new lows. But but getting back at it, we are trying to find Bitcoin's new support. So there's a secondary one right here, which is 67. But once it breaks that 67, uh, we could probably see here's the price target of 72, which is like a very hefty drop, of course. So once it hits 72, we'll probably see what happens and in that time. So probably people will just buy the dip because it's Bitcoin. But as of right now, if it breaks 72, like this upcoming week, then I'll probably like 76. If it breaks 76, then I'll probably see 72 pretty easily. I just want to verify some stuff on the 2 hour. Uh, yeah, we have a break right here. I'll probably say like maybe like a month out. Yeah, like a month out. Probably see Bitcoin on big downtrend. But we'll see. We'll see if it holds these levels. Um, when you guys asked me how do I find the purple line on SPY, let's get rid of all lines. Just clean slate. Like I said, these lines are I'm on the daily right now. And you can ignore the red, purple, and the blue line. The main focus I'm looking at is this guy right here. Generally right when this purple line crosses that red and that middle black line, that's considered as a resistance, which I call it a KOV resistance. So I've been doing a lot of day trading on SPY, which is not, I don't really enjoy it, but it's been seeing, well, like a lot action lately. Because the AI bot, I'm training that one, but that one's you have to wait, and there's so much things you have to confirm for a breakout. But as of right now, we're looking at SPY, classic SPY. I created a resistance, which I already said. This purple line's crossing this red. This is also considered as support right here. Obviously, it's a hefty support because obviously it had huge bounce, so that's pretty obvious. We'll make that yellow. So blue and yellow, that that those colors just sort of indicate that I'm just in the daily. That's it. The 4 hour has its own color scheme, so it to make sure like, hey, are these lines from the daily, or is it from the 4 hour, or is it from the 2 hours? So that's why I have like multiple different colors on like each chart every time like I post a chart. So next is I have a 4 hour support, which is like a right here, which is along with the yellow. Makes sense. So generally this sort of like calls right away. Once you see a big dip and you see like a yellow and orange support, that's sort of indication that you should buy for the bounce. If it breaks below it, obviously, it will have a continuous downtrend. But I need to use the 2 hour to verify it. This green line crosses black line. That sort of indicates a support too. It's not as clean of a support line because it's like a candle below, but it's still held up. It's not perfect like everything, but as of right now, it's holding. So that's like the first 2 hour purple line that I made. We have a resistance also in the 2 hour, which is up here. So let's start backwards. So we start in the daily. Next I'll check is the 4 hour. I'm gonna reset my chart. The 4 hour had an old resistance right here. That is light blue. Is it here or there? No, I lied. It's saying it's right here. Yeah. So once this purple line, yeah, even though it crossed the red and the black right here, but so this is like a small window of growth. So hence why we had like that small growth right here. We have a secondary resistance right here, which is on it's a new KOB. I call this bottom KOB. The names don't have meanings. I just label them. So we have two resistance. So the light blue is the 4 hour. Obviously, this blue is the daily. So we have two resistance right now. So hence why you guys probably saw me do puts. I think last Friday on it, because normally once we have two resistance, and the KOVs are very heavy resistance, especially this daily one. So right when it came up and it was hitting that resistance again to retest it, I was like, no way, it's going to break above it. So hence why I did that put. Next is let's see. I want to see if there's a 4 hour. So yeah, even the 4 hour says all the heavy support is down here around the 676. So but the thing is, on my cheat sheet, which is on my PowerPoint presentation, and I'll post these notes on the cheat sheet, but there's a certain pattern and rules I try to follow. So generally this says if we have a daily KOV, 4 hour KOV, which is these two right now, that means I have to involve the 30-minute and the daily yellow. Um, so this is daily yellow, which is pretty low already. So I'm thinking it'll have to involve like another daily support. But I think this is also considered as an early entry because if we use the 30-minute, that is the 30-minute support right here. So it says it involves the 30-minute and the daily KOV. So most likely, if it breaks below this purple line right here, which we can tell from one of the indicators that we have this green support line, which helps our case. So if it does break below this purple line, then we'll probably see like the 676. Then after that, we are hitting a 4-hour red support right now, which is a actually really good support. Because the red KOV, I made this one red because that is considered either a launch point or a or bleeding down point. Red, I've just used the color red as a launch point because it shoots fire, etc., etc. But as of right now, we'll sort of see if it holds this price, which is 688 right now, going into tomorrow. Actually, it's 6 right now. I wonder if the market's has been updated yet. But from the looks of it right now, though, just based on Bitcoin, it just doesn't look good because Bitcoin's on a huge dive right now. So, update. Yeah, so huge downturn right now. So it's saying current open market is at 686 right now. 68. So it's probably right here. So it's saying it's like around here right now. Which means it's breaking the 30-minute. I want to double check the hour. The hour is sort of a nice verification. So the hour shares the same thing with the 30-minute too. It's holding that same support line. So the fact that it's breaking both doesn't help. I'm also looking at right here. See this red line crossing this red? This is like probably the most earliest indicators that I have. Like it'll tell you super early, sometimes too early, because that's when I sort of mess up buying options for like this week, but I should hold it for next week because this sort of screws me up and I end up going in too early, which is not like the worst thing knowing it early, but it's just it's the fact of being hopeful. It happens now, but it's just me being impatient and not waiting for it to break yet. So that is gray. That'll be a gray. So regardless, going into tomorrow for SPY, as long as it's below, looks like 687, if it's below that price, then most likely we'll see it easily go back down to like the 676. Yeah, even the 2-hour. Yeah, even the 2-hour says there's a resistance. So that's another resistance indication. So we have two resistance because we have a 2-hour resistance like right here at this point. So yeah, that's sort of 3 resistance right now. And it's at its midpoint, mid-high point really. So probably I sort of want to see if it breaks below. So this line right here, this other 2-hour purple line, that's from like the old support. So generally if it breaks below 683, it probably could bounce around at this price. So if it breaks below 684, then most definitely we'll probably see 676. So then from that point, for me to sell it, I'll probably wait for two things. I probably want to wait for this green line to cross this dotted line right here. That would indicate a support. Hence, we sort of see it right here. We saw it right here. We saw it right here. So pretty much every time this 2 hour when it crosses this black line, that's most of the time it's sort of an indication to tell you like to sell it. The 4 hour does the same concept too. This got close to it, so you have to sort of eyeball it in a way. Obviously, if it breaks below 676, you'll probably see crazy stuff happening. But I sort of doubt it'll happen like that. But if Bitcoin continues to fall for the month, then yeah, you'll probably see it have a huge downfall for a bit. But other than that, probably puts for this week. We have a couple price marked, like I said. It could, let's see, 4 hour. Oh, I messed up my line for the 2 hour. So yeah, probably like 685, probably like around that price. But it's the idea of just watching. Um, daily KV hasn't created support yet, so that's generally heavy support. And it's saying that the 4 hour support is happening right now. It could create its support tomorrow in the midday, so we'll see. Other than that, my long term like buy the dips, even though we have a huge list on it, it doesn't none of them look great. So I actually been using it for long term puts actually, because it's right in the dip, hence in its name. The idea is you're supposed to get as it falls. But it generally hasn't been the greatest plan yet right now. So I've been going back to the AI cheat sheet. So I I do post this in the Discord. So you just have to look back. Like I said, even though I post it on the day of, I I keep on telling everyone's like it's even though it's on the list, it doesn't mean you have to act right away. It's an early indicator and it's saying like, hey, look at this. Don't do anything yet until something triggers. So then I use this to cross reference with my indicators to see like what happens. So like on the top of it, bros. Because I made like a announcement. It's like, hey, bros is on the list and it has a good ratio, like 5/2. It's not too bad. 300% return. I think the return was sort of like enticing, obviously. But the thing is, these are supposed to be 1 month, like a 1 month hold. Um, and this was back in what? January. Back in January, which is super far. We will look at bros right now. Actually, I did put and I did some research on it. This was January 7th when it had initiation. But the thing is, it created a whole bunch of resistance. So on the trigger, it had this daily resistance. Then on its initial trigger, it had its 4 hour resistance. Hence, we had this downtrend. So on one of my sheet on my PowerPoint, so I made a PowerPoint for buy the dip puts 3 days. So it's generally like they're pretty quick. They're not really that fast. So you should be like, these are generally like swing trades. So it's like you buy today, wait, sell it the next day, or wait one more day. And like that's it. Um, so I put Dutch Bros on the PowerPoint. So we have a couple resistance. We have the KOV resistance. We have like a daily blue, a 4-hour blue, and a 4-hour OG orange. And the OG is for this indication right here. Uh, Generally, when something, so on the trigger point, or this, because it triggered multiple times actually. I'm trying to find a more recent time that happens, because if it's hitting its trigger mark, it'll pop up multiple times. So I'm trying to figure out. So yeah, right here, Dutch Bros on the 23rd. So on the 23rd, I think I already labeled it. I just wanted to make sure. So the 23rd was its other triggering point. If I just remove this and just go on the day on the triggering point, which is the 23rd. That's 26th, 23rd, right here. We'll go on the daily just to make sure. Yep, 23rd. So on that 23rd, I'm using the daily. So I have a resistance right here on the daily. I'm looking at this first, which is my KOV indicator. It says like, hey, you have a daily resistance. Cool, not a big deal. We also have a daily yellow support. Generally, it's when that purple crosses this blue line and this black line. It has to be below the red, of course. This is considered as a support. So cool. I have that up. Next is this yellow is gonna be very important uh line to watch, because that's generally our breaking point. Generally when something makes a yellow line, I would have to use the 30-minute or the 1-hour chart. Most of the time you can use the 30-minute. They go hand in hand. So on the day of right here, which was this time when it made this yellow support, if we look back, make sure it didn't create any other daily supports. So we have this one, and it did make a second one right here, but it sort of happened on the day of, like, when it's triggering right now, which is, it's sort of fine, but we always want to go use the past data. So it has the second one. I use the 30-minute. So yeah, the second one, it fits well. Hence why we have this little bounce going on. But mainly, I'm looking at the 30-minute on the first time it happened. And I notice, you can notice like right here, we have a break on the 30-minute right here. But the thing is, I don't like this because it has to be below this yellow line. This purple line's above it. I want it below it, which is the 30-minute. So I want the 30-minute purple line to be below the daily yellow, if that makes sense. So I'm looking for another support. So that doesn't count. It already had its initial dip. I think this 30-minute support line right here, I think it really corresponds with this blue one. So normally when we have like a blue daily resistance on the day of trigger, which, like, imagine if it happened like here instead of over here, and we use the 30-minute, that's considered as like an early entry put, like you're doing puts on top. Most likely it's sort of indicating like a double top, so probably 1, 2, that's a double top, and double tops are considered as puts. But that's other stuff. But the main focus is I am trying to look for, I'm gonna refresh here. I'm trying to look for a green line crossing the dotted line and the black line. We have it here, but I sort of want it a little bit closer. You want to get closest to the triggering day, which is the 23rd. So our closest one is on the 13th. So right when we put on the 13th, that shows a nice support. Uh, so hence the thing is, so now I'm using this as my indicator. Like, hey, if it breaks down below this 30-minute fully, like a full candle, then I'll do puts on it. So hence we had like a full candle right here. That's where you do your put entry. Like I said, like 2 to 3 days, like max. So this is on day one. So I don't know if I'll count that as a day. So it's one. I think the next day I would count as one. Because today is triggered, I count the next day as one. So 1, 2, 3. But of course it fell more. A lot of times, I guess if it hasn't had any action, you could go down more. It did have this pop up. I'm trying to see. Was there any significance on this pop up? So we look on this 4-hour support. It says it broke below the red 4-hour too. So that's another huge indication of a break also. And we also have a 4-hour resistance too, which is right here. So he has 2 resistance right now, which makes sense. So yeah, looking at the 2-hour, that pop up, there's no, see, everything, this purple line's below everything. So when this popped up, this sort of doesn't really scare me at all. This is when I would like actually average down because it's getting close to back to its original support. And technically you would just average down and just buy more. Because this sort of indicates like, hey, I'm still falling. But yeah, that's it. That's it for buy the dips. I'm just using the buy the dips for let's see, for puts right now, but these are short-term puts, like either a week. But buying the dip actually does work really well on calls. Of course, I think it was a PDD. I think PDD was having a big dip too. Yeah, PDD was having a big dip. Let me look on the list because I'm pretty sure, I can't remember which, but there's one that did really well. Is it L and E? No, it wasn't L and E. P and W? Wasn't that? Yeah, this is all from like buying the dips. So obviously, don't buy the dips. CK, I think CK was one of them. That was like a triggering point. Had a nice. Oh, I think Intel was a good one. Yeah, Intel was a great one. Buying the dip. It's supposed to be 1 month for a 1 month hold. That was the triggering point on December 31st and January 21st. So yeah, a great 1 month hold. But from here, what am I looking for is on the day of trigger, we had a bit of like resistance that what sort of worried me, but the fact that I had like really good support, that's what blew up. I think on buying the dip, I wanted verification too, because right here on the daily, it had to stay above 44.49. So generally, like when it stays above that. But the one thing that was sort of weird is that it did have earnings. So That's the most scariest part. But yeah, other than that, I've been mostly making like a cheat sheet to make sure I verify all like the breakouts and the breakdowns. But looking into next week, just for calls itself, NEE. I haven't seen the contract for NEE yet, but this is considered as a long-term calls. It broke above both of its supports. Here's the thing. I do want it to have like another break on the 2 hour. It broke once, so this is the initial breaking point. I think on the 1 hour, it had its breaking point right here, so that's why I had like a nice run. Ideally, I would like it to have like another break on the 2 hour, but it could just have a continuous like uptrend too. Um, it had a nice dip right here. Ideally, it wants to try to get close to that green line. That's generally like the buying price you want. What is it? CPA, I think that was another one. I think this one's from like the bullish burst. And I'm seeing if this maintains this uptrend pretty much. What else could we talk about? Oh, we could. I said this stream might be a little bit longer because I'm just BSing and just studying right now. If I go to uh the watch list. All right, let's go to the watch list. I might stop the video now and I'll make a separate video for the watch list that everyone's been posting. So, I'm gonna cut it right now and I'm gonna make a secondary video for the watch list for next week. So, thanks for hanging out. Look out for the watch list vids. That's it. Take care of yourself. Be kind. All right. See ya.